Hi, I am a victim of sextortion. This happened during the lockdown last year. I had nothing to do and my friends influenced me into using dating apps such as Tinder and Bumble. At first, it was just a joke, but after a while, I found myself more into it. I was talking to girls through dating apps, and it was all fun and games until I met this particular girl. Her profile was filled with Chinese letters. She was the one who texted me first, and it was in Chinese. Her profile was already very fishy. The profile picture looked quite fake, and using Chinese letters on a bio made it more suspicious, as most people would use English on those dating apps. She also asked me to text using another app. I was curious and I just wanted to have some fun, so we started texting each other throughout the whole day. Everything went well until she asked me if I was alone. We started flirting and my hormones went crazy. My needs led me to continuing this conversation with her. She then asked me to download this app to watch her. The app asked me to put my phone number there, as well as accept the app's permission to access data on my phone. I did all that and she called me later on. We had a video call sex, and once it was done, she asked me if we could see each other. I said yes because I thought it was just one of those "I hope we can see each other in the future" phrases. The next day came and she texted me in the morning. She asked me where I was and she showed me the place where she was at. She asked me to come, but I said no. Then that was when it happened. She blackmailed me by sending a full video of the video call sex that we had the other night, along with a list of my contact numbers that she can send it to. She wanted me to give her money in return for her to not send the video to my contacts. I panicked and I deleted everything from my phone. I encountered my first panic attack that day, and it was my friend who calmed me down as I did not know what to do. When I went back to the app to show my friend the messages, it was already encrypted and I could not open it. I just stayed at home for the next few days as I was worried about my family's safety. I was afraid that they had my address and they could come to me anytime they wanted. I also texted everyone I knew not to open any messages from random numbers as it can be dangerous. Fortunately, nothing happened, but the whole thing truly traumatized me. I suffered from anxiety for the next couple of months. I would get a panic attack every time I got a random call from an unknown number. I did not tell a lot of people about this, including my family. I started to distance myself from everyone and I had major trust issues.
Hi, I experienced harassment when I was 10 years old in primary school. It started when I joined the school basketball club with my friends, and the coach of the basketball club, who was also the senior assistant student affairs, sexually harassed me when he told me to go to his house to take a bath without my consent. He immediately brought me to his house, took me to his bathroom and told me to remove my clothes to shower with him. I said I didn't want to, mainly because I was very afraid, and so he told me to stay outside of the bathroom and wait for him to finish showering. However, he opened the bathroom door and told me to look at the mirror where I could see his reflection. He asked me if I could see his private parts and if I was interested in touching them. Suddenly, I received a call from my dad, who angrily asked me where I was, as he was waiting for me at the usual spot where he would pick me up from school. I informed the coach and he panicked and he told me not to tell my dad what he had just done. That night I couldn't sleep well as the incident kept playing over and over again in my head. The next day at school, the coach tricked me into going to the toilet. The reason he told me was that my hair was a mess, but of course the real reason was because he wanted me to touch his private parts. I was shocked when he asked me to do that, and at the time I felt like I didn't have a voice to raise that issue. Sometime later on a different day, he told me to go to his house to have intercourse with me. He even forced me to say the word fuck, and if I didn't, he'd slap my face. This has been happening to me until I was 16 years old, when he told me to suck when he told me to suck his peanut and even drink his ejaculation. He also told me he wanted to have intercourse from the back, but I refused so many times. So he took his finger and he brought it into my bottom. It really hurt a lot because he poked so many times. Just because it happened once, it then became a regular thing, and it's the thing that I regret most in my life because it was so painful. He even taught me how to masturbate the way he liked to do to me until I was 16. It felt like nobody around me could help. And I've been having this trauma of seeing middle-aged men around their 30s.
I just finished SPM this year and managed to get a part-time job for a few weeks after exams finished. The part-time job was for a franchise F&B company. Long story short, the store manager, a male Malay guy who hired me, was gay. And I found out from my co-workers that he told all the other Malay staff there he wanted to try me and was starting to look at me in a more sexual way. My colleagues also told me to be more careful when working with a manager. On 2 occasions when I was putting on my apron and tucking in my shirt at the back of the store before I started my shift, the manager just happened to enter the back of the store at the same time and saw me tucking in my shirt. I saw the way he looked at me, and it was in a very sexual and perverted manner. Another time, he also smacked my bottom when walking past me. And throughout my time working at the store, he was very creepy around me. Another occasion was when he randomly called me, and when I went to him, he grabbed my arm and said, "Come to the toilet with me." And I deliberately said no very loudly so my colleagues could hear it too. The manager then laughed it off and said, "It's okay, I was just kidding, blah blah blah." Whenever the ingredients we stocked would arrive, he would always call me to go and stack up the ingredients on the shelves. I'm pretty sure he did it so that he could get a look at my bottom. Many times when I looked at the corner of my eye, I could see him staring at it. All these incidents made me very mad and disgusted. I told the same co-workers earlier about all the stuff that happened, and they said I couldn't do much because number one, he made sure to clap my ass in the blind spot where the store cameras couldn't see it, which meant I lack evidence. And number two, he has slapped other workers' buttocks before, and if I reported it, he could say he was only playing around and did not mean any harassment. The other workers could serve as alibis for him too. So they also said reporting it to the company's HR department won't do much either because a lot of LGBT people work at the company, and since LGBT is illegal in Malaysia, they probably won't sell him out to the authorities. Besides that, if he found out that I made a report, he'd probably abuse his power as a store manager to make working there for me hard and make me suffer. The Chinese and the Indian co-workers said that he always mistreats someone that he doesn't like at work, and I would probably be next if I reported him. I felt shocked and disgusted. I also felt very surprised because I did not expect any of this to happen. And I was so angry, and I wanted to make noise to bring attention to people that this absolute scumbag mistreated me. I wanted him to pay, and I wanted revenge. I wanted justice, but there was nothing much that I could do. I wanted to make social media posts and call out the company online and tell everyone what happened. But there was the possibility that not many people would believe me and it would backfire. If it backfires, it means I could be facing lawsuits and fines and charges for defamation from the company, and no one would believe me even though it happened because all I have is verbal statements and not enough concrete proof. The fact that the company would probably protect this pervert and pedophile really infuriated me because I felt really helpless and there was nothing I could do. I'm not saying I hate gay men, I only hate gay men who act like perverts and creeps towards innocent people like me. I know that because of Malaysia's anti-LGBT laws, he had to stay in a closet growing up, but he took advantage of me, and that is not nice. I know that Malaysia does not treat LGBT people very nicely, and they get caned if they get caught. That is why the company wants to protect him, but I do not care what the company thinks, because if I had the ability, I would make sure he gets punished. He made a decision to take advantage of me, and every action has a consequence and a reaction. The consequence and the reaction being that he should be held responsible for his crimes. It just so happens to be that LGBT people get punished in this country, so maybe he should receive that extra punishment, because apparently I'm not the first guy there from that store to have been harassed by him.
The story began back when I was still attending high school. I was eating at a local cafe in my condominium, and I was basically the regular customer there. There was this Indian Asian guy working there, and he was really friendly to me. At first, I wasn't suspicious at all. I thought to myself that, perhaps he just wanted a friend to talk to. He'd often treat me to free drinks. And then there was this one day when I was eating, he sat next to me, and out of nowhere he asked, "Can I ask you a question?" I said sure, and then he whispered in my ears, "Do you know where I can find videos like these?" And then he proceeded to show me these lewd videos on his phone, while at the same time being cautious of his own surroundings. Of course, I was perplexed at first, and I asked him why he asked me this, because we hardly knew each other. And then he replied, "Because I knew you knew about lewd videos like these. Last night I dreamt about you." I was shocked, but I was able to keep calm, of course, and I stayed collected as I was eating at that time. And then suddenly he said, "Hey, why don't we go somewhere private, like the bathroom, and search for these videos together?" And that's, of course, where I drew the line and thought to myself, he was definitely plotting to do something with me. After that, I didn't say a word. I paid for my meals and I left. Eventually, I found out that he was fired later on, so I'm pretty sure he acted the same way with other people.
I was 13 when this happened. I was the middle guy who tried to help my senior, who was 14, to get together with a girl in my batch. It started off as a junior-senior friendship. One day when the senior was in my room, he sexually assaulted me. We were caught by one of the wardens, and both of us got suspended for it. He got kicked out of school, then his whole school knew about it, and the response given by them towards me was not that good. They thought that the whole thing was very disgusting. And then in Form 4, someone spread rumors about me saying that I was gay, and most of the guys in my batch started ignoring me because of it. They would even make fun of me till I get really frustrated with them. I was very unhappy. This story happened 2 years ago when I was crushing on a girl. I did a Q&A on my Instagram to show that I liked her. Of course, the way I decided to show that was not really the smartest way, as it led to this whole thing happening. I sent myself a question pretending to be someone else, and the question was, who would you have sex with if it's not that girl's name? I wanted to show that I'm against that type of question or behavior towards people, especially the girl that I liked at that time. So, I replied to that by saying, why would you ask something like that? It's completely personal. A lot of my friends who knew that I liked the girl started messaging me and kept asking me who asked that question, including the girl's best friend. To get out of the situation, I said that another friend of ours was the one who asked that question, with their knowledge. The girl's best friend didn't believe me, and so did my other close friends. They started being really cold towards me, including the girl that I liked. They found out that I was the one who asked the question through a screenshot. Basically, someone hacked or used my account without my knowledge to check out who sent the question, and they were all very angry, which was very understandable. When it was prom, my best friend at that time asked me not to go since the girl that I liked was going. I said that I'd protect her, but my best friend and other people said no, even though I had bought all the things for prom. To respect the girl that I liked and my friends, I didn't go. My closest friend at that time ended up telling a lot of people that I sexually assaulted the girl that I liked. When all of this was happening, there were two people I still trusted, as I thought that they were not involved. My best friend and my dad's friend's daughter, which was a family friend. I told the girl, who's a family friend, about everything that was happening, the truth from my side. One day, I got sick of this whole thing, and I decided that I wanted to talk things out with the girl that I liked. So we met up at a mall with my best friend, and there's a third person. When I was talking and sharing my side of the story, they were just laughing on their phones. Sexual assault is a big claim, and when I told them that if this matter goes too far, I'd have to report to the police. However, the girl said that she will just tell them that he assaulted her. I realized that there was no point in reporting, as it's very obvious that I could easily lose this case. It's just the way society has portrayed men. They all just assume that it's the man's fault. That's when I just knew that my best friend was no longer on my side. After the confrontation, my dad called my best friend. My best friend said how I touched the girl inappropriately and they were just trying to help her. I did hug her when we went to a concert, but it was reciprocated, and that was it that happened. I also carried her back the whole night and I bought the tickets for her. My parents started scolding me, and after I explained everything to them, my mom just knew that I was not capable of doing that to people, especially to girls, and it's true. My mom whispered and said how she believed me and I cried. My mom and dad ended up arguing because of it. Initially, someone from our group of friends said that he was the one who took a screenshot of my account, but he lied as I found out from the confrontation that it was someone else. I asked my friend who was the person who screenshot and I hacked his account, and my family friend admitted that it was her. We both had each other's account as we were very close, and I never expected her to do something like that. Not long after, our families went on a trip and my dad told the girl's dad. Her dad said that she can be an attention seeker. My dad then was reassured that I didn't do the things that my best friend said I did. After my dad told her that, he confronted his daughter and she explained everything and said not to trust my best friend. She said that another friend of ours forced her to check my account. A year later, most of them tried apologizing, including my best friend. They apologized for exaggerating the story, making a big deal out of it, and telling people the story. It was definitely a tough year with the accusations and people spreading the story. I realized that we have all led different lives and that I'm a much different person. The girl I liked wanted to apologize as well, but she didn't in the end. It took me a long time to recover. That was the first time I genuinely felt really sad. I cried many times with my family. I'm fortunate enough to say that I wasn't depressed. Of course I felt alone at times, but I took this opportunity to reflect with other people who were just unlucky. I didn't really talk in school and didn't feel like it either. I didn't know who I could trust, but I'm more aware of the people around me these days. It's just scary to think that some people are willing to go that far with such an accusation, especially regarding sexual assault. It's even scary when a girl accuses a man for it because it seems as if there's literally no hope in fighting anymore, even if it's a false accusation. People can go to jail because of such statements, and it is easier to believe the girl I liked in this situation.
So, what advice would you give for everyone out there regarding this issue?
I want more people to be aware of this as it can happen to anyone. I blamed myself for what happened last year, but what I have learned is that you should not blame yourself for these kind of things as you have no control over them. Do talk to the people who are close to you about it as they will definitely not judge you but support you. I know that we tend to think that talking about it to people will not get rid of the trauma, but saying it out loud will. You will have to learn to accept the fact that you went through that for you to make peace with it.
It's never wrong, never wrong, to be extra careful.
Sometimes you think everybody knows what you go through, what you did, but they don't. They just assume, accuse, and move on. And when that happens, you just have to move forward and know that it is okay to be alone. Because when you are alone, you learn and you grow.
Voice it out to someone. Voice it out to someone who can help you and can support you from any negative thinking.
Stand up and stand strong. Don't let them think you're easy prey. Fight back. Make them rethink and regret their decision. When it happens, confront them straight away and be fierce when you do it. You need to scare them and show them that they have no control over the situation and they messed up. If they see or hear the slightest bit of doubt or uncertainty from you, they will grasp that moment and accuse you of making false claims towards them. Never assume that someone is harmless anymore, regardless of them being male or female. I hope this helps any other victims out there. Thank you.